is part 2 of our warm-up training video. I'm going to focus to start with on ball manipulation and active recovery. So there's been warm-ups that I've seen recently which have been great, but the coaches have maybe been working the kids a bit too hard. So we're all for hard work rate, urgency, high tempo, getting the heart rate high, but maybe after 6 minutes of that intensity, it's hard for the children. They're going to start flagging. So without saying everyone have a rest, everyone lay down, think about active recovery. This is something that personal trainers do with their clients, where they'll work them for an insane amount of time, clients sweating, clients out of breath, then rather than just complete rest, jump on a spin bike. Rest, lower the heart rate back down, but they're still moving, the blood's still flowing. So let's think about some techniques that we can teach while the players are recovering. So you'll need to notice at a certain time in your warm-up, and it's normally about 5 to 6 minutes in, and depending on how hard you work them, you need to decide, right, I need to bring it back down again now because they're flagging. So that's for you to decide that. And these are some exercises that you can do. So the first one for me is feet wide apart, and let's say I'm going to coach the group. I'm going to do this as I'm coaching in a group. So fantastic, everyone, well done, amazing. Okay, what we're going to do now is, can everyone spread your legs out, okay, around this distance, around 1 step apart. We're now going to have the ball on one side of our foot, using the bottom of our feet. Everyone touch the sole of their feet, everyone see it? You're going to have the ball on this foot, and you're going to roll it across, and then stop it, and then roll again, okay? Everyone have a go at that, let's go, have a go. Now, problems that you're going to see, especially with the younger ages, is that kids are going to cross their legs. Kids are going to have their legs maybe too close to them. So if it's like that, it's not really benefiting them for the exercise. So it's not going to be the same distance for every kid. They've got to find what's comfortable to them. But we're going to say about this distance, hips apart, and we're saying that we want them just rolling the ball in that way. And what we want to see, we don't want to see it rolling off like that too far. We don't want to see them moving around the area. We don't want to see them using the insides of their feet, because that's a different technique. We're literally saying on the spot, have you got the balance? Can you just roll the ball from foot to foot? Now, this is a great foundation to build from, because once you've got the player comfortable with moving in that way, now there's a lot we can now do from there. So, depending on your group, maybe you've got an advanced group. This might be something for the 8 to 12s. We're now going to progress it. So let's have a go at this. So we're going to progress it with foot on the ball. We're going to roll and step over with the same foot. So let's have a look what that looks like. So I've got to keep my distance. I'm going to roll across that horizontal line. Need to get the right way around. Horizontal line up that way to the other foot. And then as I go, I step round the ball, and then I stop with that one, put my foot on it. So now I'm rolling like that. Yeah? Do we see that? So now let me just show you how I demonstrate that to a group. Fantastic, everyone. That's top class. Well done. So because we did so well at that, you're all comfortable going in that way. What we're now going to do is we're going to do it, but we're going to add a step over in. So have your foot on the ball. As you're rolling, the power's going to come from the other side, the plant foot. You're going to roll and step round the ball. And then we want to see you catch it with this foot. And then again, roll and catch. And then what that looks like when you get some good tempo is just roll and step. And it's really, really nice. And we might do that in a game really well. So off you go. Have a go at that now. Let's go. Okay, so let's say that you've then coached that really well, where the whole group have done this. Again, think about things that could go wrong. Once you get experience and you've seen a lot of this, you'll start to know the things that they're going to find difficult. So things like they will roll the ball and then they won't understand how to do that step over. Or what they'll do again is they'll roll and it will go too far away, or they'll roll and then they'll try and do it too fast, and they're not ready for that. Let's get the technique right first. Just a roll, and as it rolls, step. The other thing is that it's not a roll, foot down and then step over. That's a different exercise. We're saying foot stays in the air, it's a roll and there. Because this is going to lead into the Neymar type step over, or if you remember Ronaldinho, the way he would have his foot on the ball, he'd press down and then he would then jump it onto this foot, and all the movement comes on the hips and the shoulders. So that's what we want to build into. Now, after you've done that for a little while, the kids might have a lower heart rate, and so we can raise the intensity again. Now we can start doing more skills on the move again. So to work on that next progression of this one, we're going to say how you could use it to beat a player in a game in a 1v1 situation. So try and, especially with the older players, try and make things game related. So we've now said, right, you're in a situation, a game, you've got that where you can dance around the ball. This is building your foundation. Okay, now we're going to do it where we're moving on the ball. We're going to have our foot on the ball. You're going to roll it across and you're going to step onto the other foot. So it will be, that's the movement. Okay, now I've purposely worn my worst trainers that are very difficult to use skills with, because I know that all our coaches, not everyone is a super skillful player. Some of our coaches maybe are more defensive coaches, some of you maybe are not the most skillful. That's fine, you can still find a way to demonstrate this and still push our players to do this to maybe a Neymar level one day. Okay, so foot on the ball, roll it and step. Okay, and you may need to practice that at home yourself a little bit, or find one of the coaches in your group who can do that exercise, because it's not super hard. All it is pressing down on the ball. As you press down, it's then rolling it. You want to get it in that diagonal motion, so it's step down and then roll across like that. So in your warm-up, you want to be able to separate the skills that are used for ball manipulation and the skills that are used to beat opponents 1v1. I'm going to demo a couple of skills now that we use if we were looking to beat a player. So we're going to do the inside chop. Okay, so the way that we want to do the inside chop is we want to make sure the player first takes a touch away from them. So thinking about diagonals, if you think about a clock, we're going to be taking the touch round about 2 o'clock. So I'm taking my touch at 2 o'clock. Now hopefully my opponent has started to step in that area, and that's created a space the other way. So now I'm approaching the ball, and I know I'm going to end up over there with the ball. So I'm going to use the inside of my foot. I'm going to aim to hit the ball across the ball so it moves in that direction. And as I hit, and my plant foot is going to be out wide. As I hit the ball, I've got to lift this foot off the ground. And that's going to mean that I can do my chop in that direction. So let's just have a look at how that is. So I take my first touch out here. Now I'm going to approach the ball and chop and hit. So I'm now going to demonstrate, I've shown you the coaches how I want that done. So now let's have a look at how it would be to the players in a group. Fantastic, well done everyone, just hold it there. We're now going to have a go at the inside chop. I know lots of you already know how to do it, but I'm going to demonstrate it again because I just want to really emphasize how I want this done. Okay, so you're going to take your touch across your body, okay? So we're going to take it out to the side. That's where the first touch goes, out your feet. We're then going to use the inside of your feet to hit the ball, okay? With the plant foot nice and far wide, okay? You're going to almost aim the ball to hit that plant foot. So it's going to be kicking the ball with the inside of the foot, in that foot. As it goes to touch that foot, you're going to lift it off the ground, all right? So have a little look how it is. So it's going to be touch, chop, okay? Everyone have a go at that. Let's go, let's go. So now, obviously, same as always, kids are going to try it. Some of them are going to be able to do it really well because they watch YouTube and they're good players and they know this skill. Others of them don't know how to do it. So you and your coaches just need to walk around the group and go and correct. One of the biggest problems I see with this skill is you'll see players take their touch straight on. And if you take your touch straight on, you don't really have anywhere to go. If you're doing it where it becomes a sideways touch, fair enough, you might be able to create spaces for yourself, but that's a different skill that's not going to beat an opponent. If you think about how Ronaldo would do it or Neymar would do it, it's beating the player 1v1. They're now getting their arm out and they're going at the player. And that's what we want to work in this exercise, okay? So understand that difference. It's not to say a player who's chopping the ball to the side is doing it wrong. It's just that would be used at a different reason. Yeah, so make sure that the players are starting to understand that. Hopefully that makes sense to you and you're happy with that. Okay, I'm going to show you guys how I teach the flip-flap skill. Now, very few players are going to use a flip-flap in a game. It's important that everyone understands that. We probably want our 4-year-olds and our 12-year-olds and everything in between to be aware of the skill, even if they're going to be a defender that maybe in the future never uses it. Let's make sure that they've got the understanding of how to do it, or they're attempting it, because all it's going to do is increase their brain capacity and make them better players and understand push their boundaries of their potential. So as coaches as well, this is a challenging skill to teach because you might not be comfortable with it. So don't think that you've got to do perfect demonstrations like Ronaldinho, okay? Let's just get the basics. Think of it like a paintbrush, okay? So outside of the foot, sorry for all the noise in the background, but we're going to persevere. You're going to use, look closely, okay? So outside of the foot, that's going to push in that direction. Notice I'm getting bends in my knees, okay? That's really important. So we're going to start pushing out in this direction. As I push the ball, I then got to be able to use the inside to bring the ball back. That's why I described it as a paintbrush stroke, yeah? So it goes out and in. All you've got to do is be able to show the children the breakdown of the skill, and if they've got the ability, they'll push on, they'll master it themselves. So don't think you've got to be a superstar footballer to do this. So let's have a look again. So it goes out and in, yeah? That's just all it is. Soft touch out with bend in the knees, out and then in, yeah? Maybe have a little practice yourself as a coach, just to make sure you've got the little demonstration of it. Just a little while of just practicing and you'll get it, okay? And the kids can do the rest. And maybe you'll have a superstar player who gets it perfect and then they can demo it game related, yeah? And make sure the players understand this is not one that they're going to do all the time, but it's fun. It's a great skill to have in their locker if they've got it. Okay, I'm going to show you how I teach a flip-flap to a group of 8 to 12-year-olds in their warm-up, okay? So, everyone, well done. You've done really, really well. Because you've been doing so well with these skills, I'm now going to challenge you with a much harder skill, okay? So, everyone have a watch in now. We're going to do the flip-flap. I know some of you already know how to do it, but I'm going to show the whole group. It's really important you get your plant foot nice and wide with this one. Don't have it so close to the ball. Get nice and wide. Make sure you've got a nice low center of gravity and bend in the knees. We're then going to think about a paintbrush, okay? So, outside of the foot goes on this part of the ball, the same side as your plant foot. We're then going to go pushing the ball out there, and then as you push, bring it back in, okay? That's how it's going to be done. Watch one more time, everyone. So with this side of the ball, we're going to push out and then bring back. Everyone have a go at that. Let's go, let's go. And then again, as always, it's going to be let them try. Maybe find someone that's doing it really well. Bring them in, maybe get them to demo in front of everyone because they might be better than you. And then make sure, because this is something I've noticed with coaches, is we're not seeing enough clapping and praise as a group. So if someone does it really, really well, let's make sure we praise them. If a kid struggles with it, Don't praise the try, say good effort, but be careful praising something that isn't technically right, because that can give mixed messages to your group. Then just go around with your coaches, the players who were advanced at the time, doing it well, challenge them. Maybe can they do it weaker foot? Can they do it a bit faster? Push them. Weaker players, just encourage them more with the basics. Get them to understand the concept and then encourage them to practice away from the session. I hope that makes sense. Thanks, guys.